question is a 30-second question. We'll start with Reed. Why should we vote for you over any other of the other two candidates here tonight?
Because I believe, quite frankly, that I'm the best positioned to defeat Congressman Kagan. We've talked already a lot about ideas and government, so you have a pretty good handle on that. But at the end of the day, we need to have somebody that can actually defeat him. And I can do that. He's not able to talk down to me because I'm too young. He's not able to point to a legislative record that people might disagree with. He can't say I've never made a payroll or created a job because I've done all those things. And so, of anyone who's in true parity with the congressman, it would be my campaign.
This election is all about ideas and is all about solutions. I believe I have the best record in the private sector, not just in my 6 years that I self-term limited between the ages of 44 and 49, but in my entire life. My polling and my surveying with 11,000 individuals proves that I'm a launch ahead of the field. Due to strategy reasons, we're out there on the ground, we're on the airwaves, and we're listening to folks starting our job right now. We are listening and taking note of what needs to be fixed. It's important for you to elect someone who can win, and I am that candidate.
Roger?
I've got the proven conservative experience, serving in small business, serving in the military, serving in the state legislature. Congressman Kagan can't talk down to me on immigration, never supported amnesty, never supported McCain final. Can't talk down to me in Afghanistan, I was there. And he certainly can't talk down to me on where I get my money from in my campaign. I don't owe any allegiances to out-of-state groups or special interests, just to the people right here in Northeast Wisconsin. And I've lived in Appleton. I didn't move into the district, I'm not an opportunist or an outsider. Kagan can't talk down to me on that either. This election is about electing someone who can beat him, and I bring the qualifications and the skills to do that.
All right, this is a 90-second question, and we'll start with Terry. How do you think the Democrats and liberal interest groups will work to defeat you? How will you defend against their efforts?
Standing on principle and standing on truth. That's the way I've always done. I had over $60,000 spent against me my first year I ran for the state assembly. I put my election on my credit card. And won because I went door to door to door, saw many of the faces that I see right here in this audience. Because you put your trust in me, and I put my faith in free market competition. I'm a constitutionalist, which means I believe in limited government. I've always supported the Second Amendment. I raised my family here. I did student teaching here a long, long time ago, and am proud to be from this area. I believe that answers your question.
Thank you.
How many of you remember President George W. Bush? All right, you are going to see his face plastered on every TV ad in every newspaper from now until November 2nd. It's the Democrat strategy. That's what they're going to do, try and liken everything back to George W. Bush. Well, I'm here to tell you on any issue that you want to bring up, from immigration to the war in Afghanistan, to the economy. I've got the life experience that goes against anything that Congressman Kagan or the Democrat Party would like to bring against it. Is it going to be a tough fight? You better believe it is. Is it going to be ugly? They're going to stop at nothing. But what's our choice? To allow our country to continue to go down the path it is right now toward socialization? To give up on our children and our grandchildren? Yes, the road's going to be tough, but we're going to meet it with determination and faith like we always had. I remember the quote, "Let them do their worst, for we shall do our best."
Well, I think I had a chance to see a little bit of what they're going to do both tonight and during the last week or so. I'm really not an opportunist. This is the lowest paying job I'm ever going to have. Certainly not going there for opportunity, and I don't need the title. I mean, let's face it, 80% of Americans have a negative feeling about Congress, and no one's going to like me. So, I mean, that's got nothing to do with it. But I've seen the Democrats attacking. Just a week or so ago, they took a full-page ad in the Green Bay Press-Gazette. Reed Ribble wants to send jobs to China. And they've already started. Why do you suppose that is? Why do you suppose they didn't take out full-page ads against my other primary opponents? Because they want to pick the primary opponent. They want to pre-choose and pre-select the primary opponent. And so they have to do whatever they can to belittle and denigrate me, to make it simpler for them. And they will do all the things and the things that you heard tonight. They'll call me the pro-amnesty guy, and I'll answer the question And they'll call me an outsider even though I went to the same high school as Steve Kagan. You know that? He and I graduated from the same high school. In fact, I coached volleyball at Abilene East for 20 years. You can't really label me as an outsider. It's just not going to stick, but they're going to try. But in reality, we are going to win because we have ideas. And ideas will matter in this election more than ever before. Ideas will matter, and I will share them in front of everybody when Steve Kagan comes after me.
We have a 30-second question. We're going to start with Roger. Will you actively campaign for the winner of the primary if it is not you? And if so, what does actively mean to you?
Absolutely. And, I've been campaigning for Republican candidates since I was a small child, from conservatives around Wisconsin. And boy, that, I guess everyone has a different interpretation of what it means to run a campaign. For me, it means knocking on a lot of doors, talking to people, shaking hands, and I look forward to helping out whoever wins this primary. I believe it's going to be me. And also working to make sure that we just don't win this seat in Washington, but that we have a conservative movement here, that we win the governor's mansion, that we win the Senate seat, and that we have a change towards conservatism all over America.
Yeah, I'm gonna help out with whatever way they want me to. They may feel that I'm too toxic, but I don't know. I'm gonna help out whatever way we can. I am dedicated a year of my life to seeing that we have change in government in Washington, D.C. This is something I didn't need to do. It's something that I'm doing for the protection of my family. And so I will help to see that we have a Republican representative in Wisconsin's 8th District.
I agree. Just as I have done before, responded as I was asked back in '06, taught before or talked before Laura Bush in her rally for my primary opponent who didn't do so well in the general. Was asked to speak before a John McCain rally, was fulfilled every expectation that he set before me. We have 3 offices throughout northeast Wisconsin with people who are working on the ground, going door to door and making calls on our behalf. I will put out the word to my network that we need a conservative in Washington. Thank you.
All right. We'd like to thank each and every one of you for your insightful responses this evening. We're going to ask you now to take 2 minutes to summarize and close. I believe we are going to start with Reed at this time, and then we'll pass to Terry, and then end with Roger.
I can tell you, as someone who's never done this before, who's never campaigned before, never gone out and tried to actually have a job interview that's lasted a year long, this has been the most bizarre and enriching experience of my life. At both times. I mean, it is a 7-day-a-week job, and you're busy every single day and every single night. Very little free time for you and your family. But it takes a level of dedication. And I will tell you, though, that I have been profoundly enriched by this experience. Getting out, and I've lived here my whole life for 54 years, and getting out and visiting with manufacturers and seeing the types of things that we here in Wisconsin make and craft and create, and the jobs that we've created. It has been such a fulfilling experience. I can't explain it, and words don't come to mind. And so, from that standpoint, having an audience like this, I don't know how many people are here, maybe 150 people, that you would take a couple hours out of your day to come and listen to 3 candidates who, for the most part, agree with each other, and actually be part of the process. You don't know how much you've encouraged me today. It's an incredible encouragement, and it's an incredible feeling and sensation that I had as I watched people come in. Because what I realized is, in your way, in whatever manner you could participate, you chose to participate with us tonight. And this really matters. And this is happening all over the United States. Tonight there are meetings just like this all over this country, where people are coming together wanting to get involved in their government. I invite you to get involved with my campaign. And I would encourage you to contact my office, go to my website, get plugged in. We can't just sit here and say, we need to win in November. We need to get up off our chair and go work. So find a candidate you like. If it's not me, please make it one of them and not Steve Kagan. But let's get to work.
My campaign slogan came to my husband and I when we were reading our morning devotionals. It said, credibility cannot be bought and it can't be borrowed. It must be earned. Later on, I found out that it was also very similar to the slogan of the Marine Corps emblem. Never given, always earned. Now, I didn't set out to attract a lot of military veterans to this campaign, but we did. I think it had something to do with standing up for them under a lot of pressure to get that property tax rebate done. And I didn't ask small businesses to write letters to the editor and ask me to come out and run, but they did. And I certainly didn't ask my husband to tell me to watch the news. I've got to do something, because he knew I had some policy chops and ideas that we needed in this country. I'm standing ready to serve, and I have been delighted with all of the grassroots supports and the coalition, the Northeast Wisconsin Coalition of Tea Party groups that just recently came out today and endorsed me. You know, they don't endorse, but it's their leadership that endorsed. These groups of individuals like you and me, the way I started the charter school movement, off my kitchen table, came together because they believe we need a better government. We need limited government. We need a return to the Constitution and the principles that can only be delivered with integrity. I would be humbled to have your support and earn your trust. And just as my slogan, I don't believe credibility in office can ever be given either. I'll need to continually earn your support by being compassionate, listening, and solving the problems that are before us. And there are many. Thank you.
I want to thank you all for taking the time to come out and be with us this evening. We have to be here. You took the time to come and be here. And when I think of all the rough times that our nation's been through over the course of this last 235 years, to know that Americans still hold that passion for freedom and liberty in their hearts, to come out and get actively involved in our political process, that's what lets me know that our republic is still every bit as vibrant as it was in 1776. And when you look at the people who are here in this room, I can't, the revolutionaries, the patriots of the revolutionaries gathered across the eastern seaboard then because they wanted and they yearned for freedom and independence. And we look at the direction that Steve Kagan, that Barack Obama, that this government in Washington has taken our country over the last 2 years, and we find people again that yearn for that freedom and that independence. This election isn't one about what kind of a country are we going to have in 20 years. This election is about, will we have a country in 20 years? And that's why your involvement, your staying active is so very important. And I would encourage you to get involved with my campaign, to get involved with all the campaigns that are happening around our state to make sure that your voice is heard. There are many ways you can do that, from bumper stickers and yard signs, making phone calls. Go to rothforcongress.com if you'd like some more information. And before I forget, next Tuesday, September 14th, is the primary. And I'd like to ask for each and every one of your votes. And after you vote on September 14th, stop down at the American Legion on College Avenue, wear that little I voted sticker, and we'll give you a drink and some food, and we'll celebrate a tremendous victory. Thank you, folks. God bless you. Thanks for coming out.
Well, I'd like to thank the candidates for coming out tonight and joining us, and obviously we want to thank everyone here as well. Thank you, Terry, Roger, and Reed. We know that this has been a tough year for all three of you and your families, and we do appreciate the sacrifices that you are making, not only for all of us, we do. In closing, Joe and I, along with the other ladies in the Republican Women's Group, want to thank everyone else that attended tonight. We also want to thank Bobby for being our wonderful timekeeper tonight, keeping the candidates on. We hope that your time spent this evening was worthwhile and very informative. Don't forget to vote next Tuesday. We would appreciate that. And then if you would like to learn anything more about the Republican Women's Group, we are here. There's other ladies in the crowd that will answer any questions. We also have brochures. And again, thank you. And the candidates, I believe, are going to answer any questions that you have, or will greet you in the back if you have any questions. So thank you. So now let's applause.